Hello chaps, I'm very sorry that you are seeing me in such a shiny state. I basically have a few new bits and pieces to try out and I thought I'd try them out here with you. So I have excessively dry skin, hence the shininess. I've just put a huge amount of moisturiser on just to, you know, sort my life out a little bit. And basically I've got some new bits I want to try out and some old bits I want to try in a different way. So, are you ready to get down to it? So I'm going to start by taking the Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm, which is both a moisturiser and a primer in this situation. So even though I'm going to be using another primer, I don't think doing this hurts. Unless it does, and then I'm very sorry to the gods of skincare. Okay, so now that's done, I am going to use the Revlon Photo Ready Perfecting Primer, which is another one of the new things. Again, I've heard good things about it and I thought I'd give it a go, because who doesn't need better skin? Well, I suppose people who have really good skin, but the point still stands. I'm also going to take this tiny little tube of the I'm really not speaking well today. I didn't sleep at all last night. I was literally up. I've been awake for over 24 hours at this stage, so I apologise for any manicness that may ensue. So this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. Now that's an area of my eye which gets very, very dry indeed. An area of my eye? An area of my face even. I think that's all the primer I am using. So next up I'm taking the Max Factor Pan Stick in the shade Fair 25. I have never used this before, this is a first, so wish me luck. I have literally no idea. I don't even know if this is the right way to apply it, but you know, I'm going by instinct rather than sense, which I feel is the way I live my life most regularly. So to stop myself looking mildly ridiculous, I'm going to take the Lottie Base Blendy Perfecty thing. I can't remember its proper name, I'm sorry. I think I told you in another video that I have heard that flat brushes are the best brushes for if you have very dry or sensitive skin, like yours truly. So I'm still testing this theory. I will give you an update in maybe a month or so's time when I perhaps have a better idea myself. So this colour isn't too bad, it's a little bit too light and a little bit too pink. However, I feel like we can deal with that. I feel like this is not the end of the known universe. I'm going to blend that out a bit because I have a feeling I'm looking kind of patchy. Although it's not as dry looking as I thought it might be. It's very dry around my nose though, which is really standard for me, unfortunately. My T-zone is a living nightmare. So I'm taking the Royal & Langnickel Flat Concealer Brush C230 and Time Balm by the Balm in light/medium. This is a really jacked up looking little jar at the moment because I have had it for a long time. Now, I've heard this is a good way for dealing with dark circles, of which I have, well, not several, I have two, but they're quite distinct, I feel. Very purple in comparison to my fairly yellow face. Very yellow-based concealer, so it's pretty perfect for my purposes. I'm also going to get my nose because it's looking a state, and I think I've got some little blemishy guys here and here. This probably isn't the best concealer for doing blemishes with because it is a little bit yellow. However, I live life on the edge. Blend. While I'm here, I'm just going to quickly do a little bit of taming of my eyebrows. They're in fairly fair fettle today, so I'm just going to go in with the Benefit Gimme Brow in light medium, which sort of shapes and fills in without making it look too done. Sometimes you don't need your eyebrows to be perfect. Sometimes you just need them to be getting a passing grade. Okay, I'm going to tidy that up a bit because I think I've made rather a mess of this. This is another new product for me, even though everyone else in the entire world has used it. And this is the NYX powder blush in taupe, grey-based, sort of matte, taupey colour. And I'm taking this flat kabuki style contour brush. It's on a slant, it's very densely packed. This is by MUA and it's the F13. And I'm just going to see how this goes on my skin tone. Going down at an angle on the side and then over here going flat on. Probably not at all the way it's intended to be used, but you know, sod the rules. That is actually a nice little combination of tool and product. I am pleased with this. This is actually a really nice brush to use. It's very, very straightforward to use, which I quite frankly approve of. I'm just going to take this little angled brush, eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. to kind of contour my nose a tad. I don't have a very defined nose. In fact, I have rather an undefined nose when foundation and all that junk has been put on it, so it needs a little bit of help. Okay, I'm going to blend a little bit with my Body Shop slanted kabuki brush. I'm going to be a bit experimental with the blush. This is the Balm in Stain blush in Pinstripe, and it is a sort of very plummy colour, which I'm not 100% sure is going to suit me or what I'm going to do, but let's give it a go anyway. I love these sort of shades, even if they don't look amazing on me. I'm just taking it on this big fluffy Tokidoki brush with a little, look at this, tiny little unicorn on it. Isn't it precious? Okay, alright, well this is not as horrifically unflattering as I thought it might be. In fact, I'd go so far to say it looks okay. It's clearly very, very pigmented, and actually it's probably picking up some details of my face that I would rather left undetailed. However, I'll forgive it because it has quite a nice sort of satiny finish, and that's kind of pleasant. For bronzer, no, not bronzer, highlighter. Well, this is kind of a highlighter and a bronzer. It's the Body Shop Shimmer Waves Shade 2, and what am I taking? I'm going to take this little e.l.f. blush brush and just kind of gently sweep it over the high planes of my face. I don't want to go too hardcore with this. So that's it. That's as far as I'm going with it, frankly. Okay, I am going to move on to my eyes next, because that is the way I tend to do things. I'm going to pick up the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Rust. I feel like I should probably be doing a primer underneath this, but I really can't be bothered because today is Sunday, and Sundays are supposed to be a day of rest. And actually today hasn't been restful at all. Like I said, I haven't slept at all, and also I tried to film this video before and I had a huge drama with my phone, and I'm not going into it, but rest has not been the flavour of the day. Anyway, so I'm just coating my eyelid in this. It's this kind of metallic masala sort of thing, quite a cool toned red. At the moment I've been wanting to experiment a bit more with shimmer and lighter coloured shadows on top of darker ones, because I kind of love that interplay between dark and light, shimmer and matte, blah blah blah. So this is in pursuit of more information in that direction. So I am taking two sleek palettes today. The first one is the Del Mar palette, which is these kind of slightly muted summerish colours. I think that's what I'd call them, which is probably not a good description, but who cares. And then this one, which is Snapshots, which is quite similar but with more shimmer shades and more sort of, I don't know, slightly more joyful, more spring-like maybe. So, what am I going to do? What am I doing with my life? I'm going to do something potentially controversial. When I say controversial, I just mean to myself, because I might hate the way this looks. I'm going to pick up this shade here in the Snapshots collection. I have no idea how a sort of green is going to look over a red. fact, I have some idea and it's probably not going to be pretty, but sod it. Life is too short. I'm literally just going outside the eye and then into the middle. I'm completely making this up as I go along, if you can't tell. I actually don't hate that. I feel I should hate it, but I don't. Right, I'm going to take this just massively fluffy eyeshadow brush. It's just some sort of cheap knockoff thing off the street. Well, not off the street. I didn't just like walk out of my house and find eyeshadow brushes. It's off some sort of website importing from China, I believe. Okay, so now I have a green mess everywhere and I look like a sea witch, but not in a cool sort of Ursula way, more in a swampy, seaweed covered old hag kind of way. But you know, I mean, that's a look. Well, it is now. Oh, bloody hell, what have I done to my face? I need an intervention with another blending brush, which is helping matters but not fully solving the situation. I think the takeaway from this is that the sleek palettes, although generally quite reasonably priced, are incredibly pigmented and will make a mess if you do a Rachel. Okay, I'm calling for the big guns. I'm taking the L'Oreal Micellar Water and a cotton bud or a Q-tip if you're from across the pond. And I am going to just clean up this bit here because the top I can deal with, but what I can't deal with is it drifting down my face. That is not my cup of tea, frankly. Okay, that's mildly better. Still not great, but that's my own fault. I have no one to blame but myself. In an attempt to neutralise this situation, I'm going to take this very sort of grey-toned Damson shade. It's a matte colour, so I'm hoping it will perhaps undo some of the damage. I'm taking this flat sort of, well, it's not flat, it's a domed, round-topped eyeshadow brush from the Body Shop. I have so many of these because my mum used to work there, and yeah, and they're just nice eyeshadow brushes in my opinion. They're pretty basic, but they get the job done and they last for a very long time. Okay, I'm going to cover all the places that weren't covered with the green in this plummy sort of shade. I'm going to take this funny old blending brush, which I don't really know the provenance of, and I'm going to blend all that junk together. Okay, so it's not quite a rescue mission yet, but it's at least it seems like the eyeshadow is waving rather than drowning now. This is what you get for getting no sleep and then trying to do your makeup. What I'm going to do now is go in with my Delium Tools brush 776, this kind of toasty taupe matte colour in the Del Mar palette, and try and sort my life out up here. I want to neutralise some of the green, and this kind of yellow toned brown will hopefully do a little bit of the work for me. I mean, I don't think it'll do a lot of the work for me, but hopefully just some. You know, this is getting too frustrating for words. I'm going to have to clean up the under eye in the same way. I'm going to have to clean up the underbrow in the same way as I cleaned up the under eye, because otherwise I'm just going to look like I've been punched repeatedly in the orbital cavity, and that is not the look I'm going for today. I mean, I don't think it's a look anyone's ever going for. So I've wiped off the Body Shop eyeshadow brush I was using before. I'm going to take this kind of bisque, neutrally shimmer shade. I don't really know what I want to do with it yet, but I just know I want to use it. I'm going to just go in this inner corner and up to the crease a little bit. Bring a bit of light back into this rather dark look. I'm going to take this tiny little, well, it's not tiny, it's just average sized, sort of angly brush, which is quite nice, and go for this bluish turquoise with gold sparkles in it in the Snapshots collection. I'm going to just go here and underneath the tear duct a little bit. So I'm sort of stamping it over the tear duct, inner tear duct. Wait, how many tear ducts do we have? Wow, I got an A in GCSE science. Isn't that hard to believe? This is what art degrees do to your brain. Well, and I suppose chronic debilitating illness. However, God, I look strange. And I'm going to go up to the crease as well, because hell, why not? I look like this already. How much worse is it going to get? Never ask that question, Rachel. It can always get worse. I'm taking the same eyeshadow brush, the Body Shop one, and I'm picking up this beautiful sort of oystery pearly colour. Again, I'm hoping that I can sort this inner eye out a little bit with a little bit of extra light. Now, I'm not going up quite as far as I did with the biscuity colour. I'm just patting it on so that it doesn't, I don't really want it to mix in. I want it to be a segregated eyeshadow. Okay, I'm going to pick up this really cute sort of duochrome violet-y forget-me-not sort of shade. I never know what I should call these things, you know? I dropped a thing. And I'm taking the E2 MUA brush, which is this sort of angled, fluffy shader brush. And I'm going on the outside, and I'm doing the crease because that purple did not mix well with the rust. And I'm just pulling a bit of a tail up and joining it across. Is that my brow bone? A in GCSE science. I'm doing this almost sort of rounded arrowhead shape. It's not a rounded arrowhead shape at all, but you know, I like that description, so I'm going to go with it, even if it isn't slightly accurate. Okay, on just the outside of where I've put that blue, I'm going to pick up the Delium Tools brush again, and this colour here, again in the Del Mar collection. This is somewhere between sort of lilac and fuchsia, and it's really pretty. It's a matte shade, but it always sort of fools me into thinking that it's not. I don't know how, but it does. It's a wily little bastard like that. Okay, just where it fades out a bit, I'm going to help it along its way by adding this fuchsia, There's no nice way of melding lilac and fuchsia together, so let's just not do it, shall we? And it just sort of softens the whole thing, blends it a bit more evenly up into the eyebrow area. Okay, this is where we're at the moment. Okay, I'm bringing someone else to the table. So this is a NARS Duo. Something fell out. This is a little NARS Duo. It's the Eurydice one. I'm going to take this Blurple duochrome shade, which is on this side, with this little sort of acorny pencily brush. And I'm going back in the crease just to keep building it up, because where it's so dark at the moment on the inner and the outer, I just want that little degree of separation. You know, I keep saying all these things trying to explain my bad decisions. Frankly, I'm just looking like a mess, and I can't accept that fact. I think this is the issue we're really facing here. I'm also going to pick up this glittery charcoal grey. And actually, do you know what? Instead of fading out to dark, I'm going to fade into dark, and I'm going to go this kind of blackish shade here, going into the oyster. It's a roller coaster watching me do my makeup. Absolute bloody roller coaster. Okay, and I'm going to blend that with the same brush I've been blending everything else with. However, I'm going to blend from the white out to the black because I don't want the inner edge to be darkened too much. And in fact, I'm going to pick up the oystery colour again, but I'm going to pick it up on the brush that had the blue on it. So hopefully a little bit of that coolness will transfer in. Okay, so finally I'm going to do something just mildly stupid because I've slightly given up on the whole situation. I'm taking an angled shadow brush from the Body Shop, and I am taking this pumpkin sort of metallic shade from the Snapshots palette. Actually, first I'm going to do a little bit more cleaning up because there seems to be fallout ahead. I may have to do a little bit of adding back to my concealer. Apologies. But for now, I'm just going to stamp this bad boy across, up under here where the purple is, and just fade out. One day when I'm playing with makeup, I'll do something really beautiful and natural and that makes me look like a nymph. That day, however, is not today. I look like a sad, aging glam rocker, but not in a cool way. Right, I am completely giving up on eyeshadow. I can't do it anymore. While I'm here, let's just go in with a little bit more concealer because, frankly, I think I need to at this stage. Okay, so in the waterline, I am using some of this Bobbi Brown Perfectly Defined Gel Eyeliner in Violet something? Violet Night. Violet Night. Holy night. And I'm going to just set that with a little bit of one of the purple eyeshadows because I have a very bad tendency to end up with eyeliner all the way down my face, which can be a look, but I think on top of this would be a bit much, let's be honest. So I'm going to take this purple Orchid eyeliner from Lime Crime and I'm going to go across the top here. Oh wow, apparently I'm doing very thick eyeliner today. I'm just following this orange line up a little bit, not all the way, just about up to where the eyebrow ends. Yep, that'll do it. And tiny bit just in here on the inner tear duct to define that funny little green bit because, you know, I like my mistakes to look intentional. Okay, now time for some mascara. Oh, first I should probably curl my lashes, shouldn't I? That's the thing people do. Just this little guy. So I'm taking the L'Oreal Double Extension tubing mascara type thing. Apparently I'm losing my voice now. How not charming. Right, so I'm just going to go on the bottom lashes first. I don't go all the way in because, as I've said, my eyes are very close set and I don't feel like going all the way in is a good idea, especially not on top of this monstrosity. Right, now I put this primerish end on the top lashes first. Ugh, trying not to get it into my contact lenses but failing on that front. Okay. Right, now I go over the top with the black stuff. Over the top being the theme word of this entire look. I'm just wiggling it slightly as I go up the lash. Okay, I really do feel like there's something that needs to be sorted out in this whole eye situation. I can't keep on with it like this. So I'm going to go into the Vintage Romance palette, another sleek one, and I'm going to pick up, I think, yes, this middle shade, which is apparently called Caught in Cans. I can never say it properly, much to my mother's despair. Hi Mom! I'm going to take this little Eatsy brush from Pantone, wiggle it in the shadow and just ruin my mascara while I'm at it. I'm just going to put it right in the middle of where it goes from brown to, no, from black to sort of pearly coloured. And actually I'm going to pick up the one next to it as well, Meet in Madrid, which is a bit of a brighter gold colour. These really are very soft and lovely eyeshadows to work with. The fact that I have made an abomination with them reflects on me rather than the eyeshadows, believe me. Okay, right, that'll do. I can't touch my eyes anymore. I literally can't. It will kill me. So I'm going to finally move on to my lips, and I'm just picking up this Revlon Just Bitten Stain in the shade Lust, and it's literally just the most basic felt pen sort of thing. It's really nice on its own if you want to look really natural and like chilled out. Obviously not the vibe I'm going for. So there we go, that's the start of it. I'm going to pick up Confident, which is a Lush lipstick thing. They're in these funny little bottles and they go dry really quickly. However, they are a lovely formula and they do look great, so you have your pluses and your minuses. At least this is consistent. I'm always bad at doing lipstick. And these dry to sort of semi-matte, and this one has a kind of pearlescent sheen to it. Sort of a dark oxblood sort of berry shade with a pearl sheen. That's the best I can do today. I'm very sorry, guys. I look awful. But it was kind of fun, so, you know, you may be stuck with me looking like this for a couple of videos. Sorry. Anyway, it's been lovely spending time with you, and I will catch you on another day. Toodaloo.